Okay, this is the second half of 1.4 of geometry. So, angles with the same measure are congruent angles. Just like when we looked at segments before and said if two segments have the same measure, they are congruent, we can do the same thing with angles. We have congruent angles. And we mark angles with arcs to show that they are congruent. So angle A has one arc and angle B has one arc, so I know that angle A is congruent to angle B. Looking at this picture, here's one angle that has one arc, and here's another angle that has one arc. So those two are congruent. And over here, here's an angle with two arcs and an angle with two arcs, so those are congruent. So our got it problem down here. If I'm told that the measure of angle ABC is 49, what is the measure of angle DEF? Well, they both have one arc, so they must be congruent, so the measure of angle DEF must be 49. Our angle addition postulate says that if a point B is in the interior of AOC, remember this is our interior, then the measure of angle AOB plus the measure of angle BOC is equal to the measure of angle AOC. So the two parts, the yellow angle plus the blue angle, equals the whole angle, just like our segment addition postulate, where I said this one part plus the other part equals the whole. And it's a smiley face. Okay, this first picture, that's supposed to be Q. They didn't label that correctly. That's Q. So, if I'm told that the measure of angle RQT, this big one, is 155, and I need to figure out these two interior angles, or these two angles here, RQS and SQT, well, I know that this one plus this one needs to equal this whole thing. So the measure of angle RQS plus the measure of angle TQS needs to equal the measure of angle RQT. And I could set it up and plug in my expressions and solve algebraically. But let's do that on our own down here now. I'm told DEF is a straight angle. If you think back to the beginning of 1.4, we're told that a straight angle is 180 degrees. And then I need to figure out what these two angles equal. Well, I know that this guy plus this guy needs to equal this whole thing. So, the measure of angle DEC plus the measure of angle CEF needs to equal the measure of angle DEF. Now I can plug in my expressions. 11x minus 12 plus 2x plus 10 equals 180 degrees. And now I can solve algebraically. So 11x plus 2x is 13x. Negative 12 plus 10 is equal to negative 2. That's equal to 180 degrees. So I need to add 2 to both sides. So I get 13x is equal to 182. And now if I divide 182 by 13, I get that x equals 14. And now I need to go back and plug into my angles. So 11 times 14 minus 12 is 142 degrees. That's this guy right here. And 2 times 14 plus 10 gives me 38 degrees right here. So angle DEC is 142 degrees and angle CEF is 38 degrees. Alrighty, our lesson check. Just doing number 2 here. If the measure of angle ABD, the whole thing, is 85, what is an expression to represent the measure of angle ABC? That guy right there. Well, I know that ABC plus CBD needs to equal the whole thing, ABD. So, the measure the measure of angle ABC plus the measure of angle CBD equals the measure of angle ABD. Okay, well, I don't know the measure of angle ABC. That's what I need to get an expression for. But it's marked in there that the measure of angle CBD is x. And I'm told that the measure of angle ABD is 85. Now I'm asked to find an expression to represent the measure of angle ABC. So I need to move this x over to the right so that the measure of angle ABC is all by itself. So if I subtract x from both sides, I get the measure of angle ABC is equal to 85 minus x. And there's your homework.